Birmingham, a city steeped in industrial history, is leading the way in a low-carbon revolution to help tackle climate change. Cutting CO2 emissions and reducing waste was the key message at the UK's first climate change festival. Visitors to the 9-day event were encouraged to pledge to reduce their carbon footprint while gaining practical advice and tips for saving energy and resources.
Birmingham is the largest local authority in the United Kingdom, in fact in Europe, unitary authority, and therefore for us to focus on what Birmingham's targets are very important, and our ambition is to reduce our CO2 emissions by 60% by 2026. It's very ambitious, but collectively the City Council, working with its partners, can actually make a difference for 1 million people and show the way ahead.
Having single-handedly sailed around the world in a yacht in record time, Dame Ellen MacArthur knows a lot about sustainable energy and achieving ambitious targets. After launching the event, she took back to the water to try out a hydrogen-powered canal boat.
At the end of the day, I don't think you'll achieve much without setting targets. You know, when I set out for a round the world record or a race, you have a target. You know, you want to get the best result you can. With a record, you know that you have to get round the world in less than 72 days. So you know what you've got to do to achieve that. And I think targets are really, really important. Do we have all the answers to reduce the carbon emissions by 60% by 2026? No, we don't today, but by 2026 I think there's a really good chance that we will have. And it's about making those changes now that we can, and then making all the changes that we can in the future.
The city centre was transformed into a hub for exhibitors at the festival, providing up-to-the-minute information on green technology and fun activities to help people go green. These sustainable commercial vehicles, called the Modec, are being trialled in London and release zero CO2 emissions and have no carbon footprint.
It has an electrical charge, works on electricity. It's fully charged, it's fully run by electricity. It has a 3-phase power supply. Once it's charged, it runs for about 75 to 100 miles, which makes it absolutely ideal for the work that we do in central London.
Being able to recycle more, or simply losing less, is a big part of cutting carbon emissions.
Everyone on this planet has a respect for nature, and we need to manage what's around us so that it can continue, it's sustainable. I've sailed around the world several times. I've been out there, I've been lucky enough to be out there with nature. I've seen the fact the planet is actually not as big as we initially thought it was, and we all have a real need to look after this planet. No one's going to do it for us. We actually have to take control of the resources we're using and the way that we're living, and it's a huge challenge, and we don't have all the answers now, but we have to start working towards having the answers and changing the way that we live.
As a pioneer of the Industrial Revolution, Birmingham was a city on which much of Britain's economic fortune was built. Now it's using its prominent position to lead the way in low-carbon practice by acting as a positive example for how other cities can effectively tackle climate change.